Going live, going live. And Leanne, I think we're live.
Hello, everyone. How are we all doing?
Hey, welcome to the weekly Web Dev Challenge live stream, everybody. Let us see you in the chat. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. Maybe tell us what you've been working on lately, whatever you like. We just want to see who's around. And we'll get started in a few minutes. But yeah, just to give everybody a chance to tune in.
Really want to hit up those flag emojis, so let us know where you're from. Who's tuning in from Wales? Me and Alex broadcasting live from Wales, aren't we, Alex?
That's right. We're from a small part of the UK called Wales. Different towns, of course, but pretty coincidental that we're both from Wales. But otherwise, if anyone else is from this small part of the world, that'd be very shocking. I see Froda and Per, who we work with in the chat, as well as Dylan, who recently uploaded his unit testing course on Scrimba. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later on.
Yeah, we are, because that was voted for in the in one of the live streams. So it's now been created and recently gone live. So thank you for everyone who voted there. There will be another vote in this live stream as well.
That's right.
So get your clicking fingers at the ready. Democracy in action.
So we're switching things up a little bit this time, aren't we, Leanne? So we're actually going to, I think ahead of this stream, you've shortlisted some of these submissions to win, and then tell us what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's right. So we had a lot of submissions, actually, 55 at the last count, and they were all really good and really different. And what I really enjoyed seeing was that so many people had done different things. So some people had done the stretch goals that we provided, but a lot of people had come up with their own ideas, which hadn't even crossed my mind. So that was awesome. And yeah, as Alex says, I've selected 5, I believe, shortlists. So you, the public, will choose who the winner is. So that's exciting. In terms of the schedule, is my screen visible to everyone? Can everyone see it?
It will be in just 1 second.
Cool. Then I'll talk you through what's going to go down.
We have some, by the way, just quickly from the chat, we have Fadi tuning in from London. I see Froda and Per, who we work with at Scrimba, both from Norway, representing Norway in the lead. Someone from Argentina, Ezekiel, somebody from Russia. Thomas says there's no Devon flag, which would be very oddly specific, I feel like. Elizabeth from Nigeria.
We should get it requested to the emoji makers. They're adding more flags all the time.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Thomas from Exeter. Alok from, oh no, I'm going to show my geography ignorance because I don't think I recognize that flag emoji by Alok. And then we have software testing trends from Canada, Alok from India, and Finn from Colorado. I lived in Colorado for a year. Beautiful place. Yeah. So yeah, now everybody's here. I think we can crack on. So Leanne, if you wouldn't mind telling us about the agenda.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what we're going to be getting up to today. First up, we're going to talk you through the swag. So I got very excited about this swag yesterday to the point where I knocked my tea over my desk while recording a scrim. Yeah, that blooper is actually going out in today's email. So you can watch me make a fool of myself if this live stream isn't enough of that. And after that, amazing revelation of all the swag, we're going to look at some of the solutions and then get you to vote for your favorite. So tell us which one you think deserves to win the swag. Should also mention, it's not only the swag up for grabs, it's also 6 months of Scrimba Pro for free, which is enough to do at a reasonably fast pace the career path twice, should you wish. So yeah, there's that. Then the other part of the challenge this week was optionally to learn in public. So either by making a blog post or a video or even a screencast on Scrimba if you wanted about how you solve the challenge. And we had a lot of submissions for that. And I've got a few to share with you here. So we'll take a look at those. After that, it's the world premiere of this week's Weekly Web Dev Challenge, which no one else has seen yet. The email hasn't gone out. We've deliberately delayed it. So you'll get a few minutes head start on the next challenge, and then you might win the swag for next week. Yeah, I know.
An exclusive premiere of the next Weekly Web Dev Challenge, only right here on the Scrimba YouTube channel. I like it.
That's it. Yeah. And then we've got a bit of Scrimba news. So talking about a new course and something we always love talking about, which is a student who's done the career path and recently got a job, which is great news.
Amazing.
And then we'll wrap up by announcing the winner. And I've put this email, help at Scrimba, here because, well, you can use help at Scrimba to talk to us about anything. But if you win the prize, that's how you'll claim your swag. And then lastly, we'll announce the next live stream because there will be another one. So that's the plan for today.
Awesome. I'm excited. So it sounds like you're going to take us through the 5 weekly web dev challenge submissions that you've shortlisted. And straight after that, we'll open up the poll to everybody watching on YouTube to then vote on their favorite. The winner of that poll is someone we'll come back to towards the end of the stream. That winner will get some swag from the Scrimba store. I believe up to $50 worth of swag, essentially. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, because there's lots available, and we want you to have a choice about what you get.
Can we see the swag store
now?
Yeah, totally.
And I think now is a good time.
So if you're watching at home and you're thinking, Alex and Leanne, why aren't you wearing any Scrimba swag? It's because the Scrimba swag is that new. It's that fresh. Like, we literally released this shop, I think, this week. And you're actually able, if you are so inclined, to go to the store and order swag. It's printed by this company as you order them, I believe, which means that we're selling them at cost. It's not for Scrimba's profit or anything like that. It's just in case you want to represent Scrimba. But again, it opens up a lot of opportunities for us to give away awesome swag to the awesome community.
Yeah, that's right. So as Alex said just now, you can have up to $50. So that means, I mean, this is in pounds, so it's going to be slightly different. But you can have the hoodie, for example, or maybe you want to hit up the baseball caps or the mugs, or my personal favorite is the dog bandana.
Oh my God, there's a dog bandana. Are you serious?
Not only that, there's a dog bandana. I don't really know how they're different, but there's a dog one and a human one. So you could match your dog, which, yeah, I mean, I would do that. I need one for my cat and one for me, and then we're good to go.
You can represent Scrimba together. I like it.
Yeah.
You can get a bum bag. I think Frodo made the swag store, and I think he got overexcited maybe because we have t-shirts, jumpers, dog swag, tote bags, bum bags, pretty much everything. I'll post a link to this. What is the links, Leanne? Is it in the Notion doc?
I think so.
Found it.
No, I'll send it your way.
I'll post it in the YouTube live stream in case you want to check it out. I think it'd be awesome to see people repping Scrimba swag. But hey, we'll roll that out gradually. How about we get on with the solutions for the most recent weekly web dev challenge?
Let's do it. Yeah. So the first one, this is from a student called Palak. And I selected this one because I just really love the styling. You know, you see a lot of currency converters and they're kind of similar, but this one is something I'd never seen before. And I think it's done really nicely. It's all very smooth and very professional looking. And another thing I enjoyed about this was the drop down here. So this wasn't a compulsory part of the challenge, but this person has put it in, and I just think it's really nice and easy to use. And as you can see, they're pulling in the exchange rate themselves, which was a stretch goal that we suggested. And then when you exchange it, this is my personal favorite part.
Wait, look at that. That's so cool.
I mean, you wouldn't exchange rubles for rubles because that
probably not
would be pointless. But there you go. You can exchange a different currency and you have this really cool effect, which I enjoy. So yeah,
I mean, it looks interesting and clean. I like that a lot. I can see just behind the web browser in Scrimba, inside the Scrim, that this person is using an API to dynamically pull down the conversion rates, which is a nice stretch goal. I think a lot of realistic applications depend on a backend API, so great job on that. But it also future-proofs the application, because if you were to hard code a conversion rate today, then maybe even as soon as tomorrow or later today, it wouldn't be accurate anymore. So this is a very, very cool app. Nice work.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great that she's pulled that in from the API. So that's really cool. Yeah. Should we look at the next one?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm excited. I've not really had a close look at these since or before this stream. So I'm just as excited as everybody watching, I think, to see what's in store.
Totally. So this is from Raj. And what I enjoyed about this one was the really nice interface for a start. And then when you make the conversion, you can also convert the other way, which I thought was really funky.
That's very cool.
Yeah, I think it's great. And again, it's pulled in the exchange rate automatically. So no need for hard coding, which is very handy.
It's clean, it's creative. I love the name. It's the Awesome Currency Converter. Nice little bit of branding. And yeah, the contrast and the colors look really cool. Nice work.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I really like the fonts used as well.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's actually quite atypical, I think, to see a sort of italicized font in a web interface, but it works really well actually.
yeah,
So yeah,
especially on something like finance, you wouldn't typically see it. But I think, yeah, going against the grain, it looks really
true.
nice.
Raj is
Yeah.
going to disrupt the fintech industry. You heard it here first. Next week, all the banking apps are going to be using italicized fonts. It's going to be a thing.
Awesome. So another amazing adventure to come out of Scrimba. Speaking of which, actually, that brings me nicely to the next one. This is Fardy has created this converter, which he's called ScrimFX.
Nice. That is, of course, what we call our video format on Scrimba. I like it.
Yeah. And I really like how here on the drop down, he's got the abbreviation, but also the name of the currency, because you might not always know what the abbreviation is. So that's cool. That's handy. And again, bringing in the exchange rate on its own. So that's yeah, something very nice, I think. Well done to Fardy.
Are these currency conversion rates, sorry, being pulled from an API? Do you know? And I'm wondering if the longer names for the currencies are hard coded or if they're coming from the API. It looks like what we have here is a equivalent to a dictionary with a lookup for the sort of acronym and the full name, which is more than okay. These things won't change every day. They're more or less set in stone.
Exactly.
And yeah, it looks really cool. I have to say, what I like about this app is, although the UI is the UI is nice, like it's serious and it looks like like stock trading and stuff, I like it. But the UX is actually awesome because if you go back to the previous solution, Leanne,
Yep.
I think one bit of feedback is that it doesn't read so like when humans read an interface, when we in English speaking languages read, we typically read from left to right. And so in this case, we read convert 11, and then you kind of go down a line USD to Indian rupees, I think. Whereas on this next solution, Leanne, on the next tab,
Yep.
I think it feels a lot more like compact and easy to understand when it's grouped together like that. It feels slightly more natural. But that could just be me. That could just be my opinion. I think they're both really nice solutions.
Yeah, I agree. They're both really cool. Not only that, we've got this solution here, which I really enjoy this one because I think it's got a really playful sort of interface. And what is cool about this, again, we've got the drop down and it automatically tells us what the result is.
That's pretty snappy. Honestly,
And
that UI,
it.
that feels calming to me. Like if I'm gonna convert my currency before going on a nice, relaxing vacation to somewhere nice and tropical, I feel like this is the currency converter I want to use.
Yeah, it is. It's very holiday themed, I feel. And it is fun and relaxing. I really like it. That's a good one.
So that's
from Mod.
Mod. All right, nice work, Mod.
Yeah, very nice. And the last entry I've selected to be finalized is from Costube. Now, this is really quite something. It not only converts it, it also gives you the rate over the last week, and you can reverse it. So, I mean, it does it all, really.
I mean, this is why we love the weekly web dev challenge. Like, we give you a very basic template to give you an idea for the requirements, essentially, and the basic structure. And then it's up to you to get creative. And I think all these solutions are very creative. This one takes it beyond, I think, the functionality is very creative in the others where you can, switch between the currencies and convert it back and forth. That was a stretch goal. Pulling in from the API was a stretch goal. I don't think you mentioned in the challenge, Leanne, about graphing. So this is very interesting. But Couchstub pulled in the graph in this case.
Yeah, it's something we didn't come up with, as you say. He's just done it all on his own, and I think it's very impressive. So yeah, those are the entries. I think it's time to open up the poll.
All right. So do you maybe want to pull the poll up on screen and I'll paste it into the YouTube chat? This is just a
Totally.
team of 2 here, by the way, anybody watching on YouTube. Teamwork makes the dream work. So, Leanne, if you pull that up, I'll post it in the chat. And the nice thing about straw poll, if you've not seen us use it on our previous streams, like the Java Scrimba stream, for example, or the stream where we picked unit testing as the next course, which Dylan has recently published, more on that later. As you vote, the results come in real time, which means as you vote, you should see the graph update on Leanne's screen. It's quite fun, although we will minimize it for a bit, give everybody a chance to vote and come back to it to really solidify the winner. So check out the link in the chat. I'm also going to pin it if I can, so you can find it a bit later in case you need a minute to maybe fetch your phone if you're watching on a TV or something.
Totally. Yeah, that's great. Sorry, I'm just, that's embarrassing. Playing myself back on my phone in a live stream. What not to do.
That's disorientating. Can we see the results real quickly, Anne? Are they rolling in?
Let's have a look. Oh, wow, look at that.
What we got? And maybe
a clear front runner.
Still early days, I think. What, 9 votes? 7, yeah, 12
look at that,
votes.
it's changing every second.
Just real quickly, Anne, because I think the little descriptions of the interfaces are really helpful. But maybe just to give everybody a quick reminder, can we quickly run through each of the solutions and just remember their names if possible?
Totally. So the first one, this was Palak, the one I enjoyed at the cool styling. And then the next one, this was Raj with his little reverse exchange possibility. And this was Fadi, Scrim Effects, repping.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had Maud with the tropical swimming pool type.
Lovely.
And lastly was Kostub with his graph, auto exchange, reverse exchange, and basically all other financial possibilities that you could ever wish for in one scrim. And the other thing about this actually is sometimes people make scrims and they take a long time to load because they're really process heavy. I haven't really seen that with this. It seems to be fairly light. So great news. Cool. So keep voting. I want to know who's going to win. I'm excited. But while we carry on, I just want to take a moment to talk a bit about public learnings and why we asked you to do that in the last weekly Web Dev Challenge. You're back, Alex.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry.
No worries. I was just introducing the public learnings, so the blog posts and the videos that we asked people to do, and why we decided to do that. I've got a bit of.
Sorry, Leanne, do you mind if I just catch up on the chat real quick with you?
Yeah,
because I see the Castub just joined. He says, "Whoa, I just joined. What's going on? What's going on?" We just shared your weekly Web Dev Challenge solution with the community. We think it's awesome. Nice work. Right now, people are voting, and your solution's among one of the shortlisted ones. I see Michael LaRocca joining. Welcome, Michael.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, we'll talk a little. You're actually going to feature in shortly, I think. So very good timing. And yeah, sorry, Leanne, just wanted to catch up on those messages real quick.
No, it's good that everyone's here. That's really nice. Yeah. So I've got a bit of a story about public learning, actually. It's kind of how I got my job. So when I was learning to code, I started a blog partly to make myself accountable and also as a way of seeing my progress. And that is how Scrimba came to find me. And now I'm working full-time for Scrimba, to cut a long story short. So that's an example of why it's worth writing a blog. And even before I worked for Scrimba, actually, showing my blog at interviews or even to recruiters and stuff like that, it gives you something to talk about. It helps you to build your personal brand. And I think actually more important than that is it really shows you how far you come. Because a year down the line, when you look at your first blog post and you're figuring out what, I don't know, a div tag is or whatever, and now it's just like you do it off the top of your head, you really realize how much you've learned, whereas day to day you don't really see that. So it's definitely worth doing.
I agree completely. Blogging changed my career for the better.
Really?
And yeah, well, 100%. And it's actually, if you're writing tutorials especially, it's funny because one day you'll reach a point where you're trying to solve a problem and you're like, don't remember this off the top of my head. So you Google it, and then like your own post comes up in the search results because you wrote about it all that time ago. And so building like a personal knowledge base almost in public is not only a great way to increase your prospects when it comes to getting a job, it shows your enthusiasm. It gives you a chance to practice your communication skills, as well as explaining and breaking down technical concepts, demonstrating you understand them. But likewise, there's a great quote which I always remember, which is, if you can't explain something simply, you don't understand it that well.
Yeah.
And so by trying to break down what you're doing into a post, you'll either identify gaps in your knowledge, like, how do I, what does that do? How do I explain it to someone else? You learn while teaching others and growing your career. We're big believers in that at Scrimba. So we're encouraging you across the board to create more content in an aid to advance your career and move forward.
Yeah, exactly. And that's absolutely right, what you said about when you solve a problem, 3 months down the line, you're not necessarily going to use it again, and then you've forgotten, and then you're resolving the same problem. If you've made a blog post about it, it's there in your knowledge base, ready to go, and you can refer back to your own blog posts. So yeah, really handy thing to do, which is why we asked you to do it for the weekly Web Dev Challenge. And lots of you took us up on the offer, and they were all really good, actually. But we had to narrow it down a bit. So here are a few that I want to share with you. They are all slightly different, which is really nice. And some are tutorials, some are sort of reviews, and well, I'll get around to showing you. And the links will also be in the email, which will go out shortly. So let's have a look at the first one. So this is Raj, whose solution you've seen earlier on. He's straight away shown us how he's made it, which is really cool. But then what's even better is he's broken down what you need to solve the challenge, how to go about it, and how he's actually built it. So setting up the HTML and then the CSS, how he's done this. He's also explained how he's put all the different currencies in, and essentially made a tutorial about it. So you could recreate it from this blog post.
It's a very nice post, and that's over on Hashnode, right? I think someone posted in the chat, Nagendra said hello. Hi, Nagendra. They were wondering if they would get links to these scrims and to these articles. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in the email that you're planning to send out that there'll be links to all these things for people to check out and learn from.
I've got links to the articles in there. Try to think of a way. Maybe on Discord we could share.
You can post those very easily on Discord if you're wanting to check them out. We'll post that on one of the weekly Web Dev Challenge channels, so look out for that.
Yeah, that would be nice. So go ahead and show some love to these blog posts. Yeah. So the next one we've got, this is from Tom. So I've got something in common with Tom, actually. He's a former English teacher, and so am I. So,
nice. From
teaching to tech, but still kind of teaching in my case. And in Tom's case, because he's got his blog post going.
Once a teacher, always a teacher. That's what I'm starting to understand.
Yeah, exactly. What I like with Tom's blog post is that he's put the before in. So this is the skeleton that I gave in the challenge. Then explained a bit about how he broke down the challenge and how he was going to tackle it. Talks us through his code, which is always really handy. This is really nice about Dev2. You can very easily format the code snippets so they're easy to read and it actually looks like the code. And then he's showed us the result. So I think that's great.
It's very cool. I'm kind of interested. Like, it says WorldX there, but I swear it was ScrimX on the Scrim. So I'm kind of curious about what. I'm not sure.
I think it was Hardy's, wasn't it?
Am I confusing them? Sorry. Oh, of course. You're absolutely right, because this isn't. Yeah, not all of these submissions, not all of the posts correlate to these submissions we showed you previously. We're just highlighting some of the posts we liked from the submissions. Leanne, just before we go any further, you have 32 unread notifications. That is barbaric.
Yeah, that's my dirty secret. What can I say? We all have our vices, Alex, and mine is unread.
When people say inbox 0, they mean 0, not like 100.
Like, actually, 33 is my favorite number, so I'm trying to get it up to that, and then I'll read them. No, that's not
right. Fair enough.
Really. So let's have a look at the next one. This is, someone who's becoming kind of famous actually in the Scrimba community, and that's
Yeah,
Michael
Michael's up and
LaRocca.
coming.
Yeah, he writes a lot of articles about his experiences on Scrimba and what he's learning. And he's done one about this weekly web dev challenge with Tom Cruise here. I wonder if he's done the challenge. Say hi if you have, Tom. But what's interesting about Michael's approach is that he started off by actually talking about the weekly web dev challenge as a concept and what it is, and giving a bit of info about the previous challenges that he's done, and then bigged up the swag, which is always good.
Always got to plug the swag.
Yeah, totally. And then he's put in an image of the converter that he's created with a link. So I think that's a really nice way of doing it. If you're not really in the mood, or you've done a lot of tutorial blogs lately, for example, you can always approach it in a different way. And that's still very valid, and it's great.
100%. Because I think, like if the benefits of writing are to demonstrate enthusiasm and activity to an employer, show that you're willing to put in the work, then I think something like this is awesome. As well as, I think in Michael's case, always bringing up and highlighting other community members. That's why Michael is a community hero at Scrimba. Not just because he makes posts, but because he highlights other people and brings them up. That's exactly what we like to see in this community.
That's right.
But yeah, you don't necessarily have to spend as much time writing a tutorial. There's still a lot of merit to this.
Yeah, there is. It's really cool. Different, refreshing approach.
Nice work, Michael.
Yeah. We're back to Dev 2 now, and my 32 notifications.
Teasing.
We've got Sebastian Baines has previously been involved in JavaScriptmas, actually, and now he's working on the weekly web dev challenge. So that's nice to know, because there's more than one type of challenge available on Scrimba. So get involved with as many as you can, just plugging those. And he's also given us a before, and then straight away he's shown us the after picture with, I wonder what banknote that is. Oh, it's Polish. That's nice. Yeah. So he's shown us straight away what the result is, and then explained how to do it. So that's a little different from the other tutorial we saw. It's a nice approach, I think. And then we've got this kind of zoomed in look at the interface, a bit more on the code. And again, you could follow this and recreate it. And he's used the hashtag, so that alone is worth mentioning. So great stuff, Sebastian.
Nice work, Sebastian. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then our final one. This is from Kirsty.
Oh, I recognize Kirsty.
Yeah. She's over on Hashnode. And what I liked about this one was not only did it show off my styling that I did, it also told us how she approached the task as a whole rather than just the code. So how she did the research, and then how she did the HTML, how she basically did all of the code. And I think that's really nice, because it's not just about code, is it? It's about problem solving, it's about research and all these other things, which is also great to mention in interviews.
For sure.
So far code can get you.
Absolutely. It's I think it's becoming more and more common knowledge, and I think if you study at Scrimba, you might have heard something like this before. But learning to code, whilst it's so important, those soft skills are also vital.
Yeah.
And because if you think about how teams work on GitHub, it's really interesting to think of GitHub. If you don't know, by the way, GitHub is a website where teams collaborate on code. You each take turns pushing code to a centralized repository, and that's how you collaborate on software. And whilst the code is the focal point, sure, revolving that code are issues, discussions, what are called pull requests, where people write some code to change the project, but they don't just submit the code. They submit the code with a description of the changes they made so that someone else can more easily understand what those changes are, and also justifying why they should be in the project, explaining the trade-offs and, for example, the easiest way to go about incorporating it. So it just goes to show that when you, like, the written communication is actually a big part of being an effective software developer.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's really great that she's mentioned that in this blog post. So yeah, those are the 5 public learnings that we wanted to highlight this week. So next week, because we are asking you to do it again next week in the next challenge, that's the kind of thing you might want to create. Or you can make something completely different. Maybe you want to do a video or a screencast or a live stream like this, or
100%.
graffiti the side of your house with your code. I mean,
Maybe
that
don't
would be
do
epic.
that. You won't
Your
get any
own
type.
house.
If you graffiti the code, you won't get type checking. You can't test that code. It's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's true.
And
It won't
yeah, you can also record a
autocomplete.
scrim. The beauty about Scrimba is when you create a note and you start building on Leanne's solution, if you open that note in a new window, you can really just press the record button and start to talk about your scrim. And maybe that's something we can
Yeah.
play back on next week's stream. Get creative and do what suits you. Could be a YouTube video, could be a written tutorial.
Yeah, absolutely. Could be a Instagram reel.
Oh yeah, I've seen so much code on Instagram. Like even TikTok, believe it or not, like code talk is a thing. I need to get on that. I feel like it's a good opportunity.
Totally. That'd be cool. Yeah. So there they are. Shall we take a look at the poll and see who's in front now?
Yeah, let's do that. So if you might be tuning in a minute later, we ran through some of these solutions to the weekly web dev challenge. Leanne shortlisted about 60, I think, down to 5. We're now asking that you vote for your favorite on straw poll. The link to vote is pinned at the top of the YouTube chat. Although Leanne, I think if we're asking people who joined a bit later to vote, we should probably give them a quick rundown of these submissions.
Have a look at the submissions.
Yeah, just real quick, I think. Otherwise, someone might vote without knowing what they're voting on.
I mean, yeah, it happens. Yeah. So here we go. We've got Palak. Awesome. I can't remember who this one was. I can't remember the order of them. Raj.
That's Raj, yeah.
Raj, yep. And then, of course, Fadi with Scrim Effects. And then we have Maud.
Nice.
Holiday.
And then
we've got Costume.
Oh, Costume, yeah.
Which does everything. So let's have a look at the vote.
How the vote's looking.
Ooh, interesting.
So the nice thing about straw poll, by the way, is if you vote on the poll at home, you'll see the results update in real time. So it's definitely worth giving it a quick vote, if for no other reason than to see the poll change, and obviously to give a nod to your favorite solutions.
Totally, yeah. So we've still got Costume, who seems to be a front runner. But yeah, it all could change. And we've still got about 20 minutes or so before we make the big announcement. So every vote counts, like they say.
Okay. So Costume's got a strong lead right now, but we'll see how it turns out. What are we going to look at next, Leanne?
What are we going to look at next? We're going to premiere the next weekly web dev challenge. So no one has seen this yet other than me. And I don't know if I sent it your way yet, Alex.
I've seen the blooper. I think the blooper is going in an email, but yeah, that's all I've seen.
Okay, then.
Look out for that blooper in your next email, by the way.
Yeah, I just thought it's too good to waste. So I thought I'd preloaded this, but evidently I haven't. So we're just going to have to pretend I've got a fast Wi-Fi connection.
No worries. Like it's storming, but like in our area in the UK right now, so like the internet's pretty. That's why I dropped out of the stream basically, because my internet DC'd for a second. I connected to 4G.
Wow, doing this on 4G, not bad. Yeah. So here is the challenge. Structurally, I guess it's kind of similar to the last one, in that I've given you the HTML. Hopefully you can see that okay.
Yep.
And you basically need to add the functionality. And it's a budget calculator, okay, which you may be looking at it and you're thinking, well, you've got one price and you take it away from the other one. Like, who can't do that, Leanne? Obviously, that's fairly simple, but you can make it as complicated as you like. And I think looking at the submissions from this weekly web dev challenge, really shows that people can take it and run with it and make it their own. So I'm really quite excited to find out what people do with this challenge.
Me too.
And we've also provided some stretch goals. Look, here we go. Maybe you want to budget for more than one item, or maybe you could store the items and their prices, or you could fetch them from an API like you've done with the exchange rates, or make a savings tracker, or add some styling themes. or anything you want. You're not limited to these stretch goals, of course. So yeah, that's
I think
this.
you can let your imagination run wild, really.
Mm,
If I saw something like this, the first thing I would think of is like something like a shopping basket on a website. And if the
yeah.
total of your cart is the value, your budget could be like the value of a voucher or the credits on your accounts or something like that. So I think that would work really nicely with this idea of having more than one item. To store the items, that then starts to feel a bit like a shopping cart or something.
Mhm.
Most
Yeah.
shopping carts use local storage or equivalent on which is a web browser, which is a browser API to remember what's in the basket when the page is closed and reopened.
Mm,
If you were to implement a server element, you could potentially look at something like Firebase and connecting that to your app. That would be a good
mm.
stretch goal. And then, yeah, who doesn't love a light and dark theme in 2021?
Or any other theme, a Scrimba theme using the Scrimba colors taken from the website. That
Why
we'd
not?
love to see. Yeah. So that's where we're at with the next challenge. You'll be getting the link. Well, I suppose you can have it now. Should we pin the link in the chat?
To the new challenge. I think we should save that for the email, don't you?
Yeah.
That way, because I don't want people to be skipping over your blooper. I'm sorry, Leanne. I want to call you out. I want people to see the blooper. It's too good to miss.
Okay. Should we play it now?
I would say yes, except for the fact that StreamYard, the tool we're using, by the
Yeah.
way, to do the streaming, just doesn't pick up audio right now. So, yeah,
No.
too bad.
And the audio is the best part of it. And it even features my cat, actually. So even he got involved in this. Yeah. So let's move on to some Scrimba news. So as I mentioned earlier, maybe not everyone was here, in one of our previous live streams, we asked you, what course do you want to see next? And the winner of that was unit testing, which has now gone live last week. So we're going to be taking a quick look at it.
Totally. So that's a course by Dylan Israel, who is I feel like veteran teacher at Scrimba. He's made a lot of courses. Dylan is a front-end developer at Amazon, but more than that, he's an excellent instructor. From watching his content and listening to a bit of his podcast, I think Dylan is someone who is self-taught and is now passionate about giving you the information I think he wished he had when he was making that transition from a junior dev to a more intermediate dev. And I'm smirking because I can see Dylan in the chat saying, I hear the author of that course is super handsome. Right.
Yeah. What I like about Dylan's courses as well is he makes them applicable to any level. So some people might hear the word unit testing or the word, his other course that he's done is called Clean Code recently. And they hear these things and they think, oh, that's for someone who's more advanced than me and that's difficult to do. I don't want to get involved. But he makes it so that anyone can do it. Anyone can start writing cleaner code or anyone can start unit testing even on the simplest of projects. So that's really nice. So do go out and check his course out. It's out now. It introduces you to the Jasmine testing framework. It takes you through a lot of things to do with unit testing. It gives you a good overview, I feel, within an hour. So it's not overwhelming, but it does give you enough that you can confidently say, yeah, I do know something about unit testing.
Absolutely. And being on Scrimba, you can be sure to find some interactive elements to that course as well.
Yeah, it's full of challenges, exactly. And if you're thinking like, okay, but why do I want to unit test? Code confidence is a big thing, and unit testing will really help you with that. And it makes the experience of coding a lot less stressful because you're testing it as you write it. So rather than writing a whole bunch of code and then figuring out, oh, it doesn't work, I have to go back through my entire code base, you find out basically straight away if there's an issue. So that's got to be worth doing in my view.
Absolutely. And it forces you to sort of, the thing I like about, well, it's important to make a distinction between unit testing and test-driven development. Unit testing is a prerequisite for test-driven development, but test-driven development, sometimes called TDD, is not what Dylan's course is about. It's really about getting those unit tests down. But the beauty of writing any kind of test is that you are forced to consume the code you've just written in a way that makes you very considerate about and deliberate about the code you're writing. And so for that reason, it's one of those things which I think can feel like it's slowing you down. Like, oh, why should I write a test? I can just go ahead and write the code. But whilst it slows you down at first, arguably, it will speed you up a lot in the long run. And I think one thing Dylan hones on, and I agree very much, is that this is one of those things that can take you from being a junior dev to a more intermediate dev. And whether you're only if you're only aspiring to become a junior dev, you could consider it a bonus. And having an appreciation for it certainly wouldn't hurt. In just an hour or two, definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of these things that comes up on a lot of job adverts as well. So it's worth having some knowledge of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What else is new at Scrimba, Leanne?
Yeah, what else we got is exciting piece of news. So we always love hearing about students and their success. And recently a student got in touch to tell us that after studying the career path, she's got a job, which is really great news. And it's interesting to hear her story about it because she actually studied CS at university, but she didn't find that was enough for her, really. So here are the details. It's on our Twitter account. It's a little tweet storm I've made from her story.
I'm showing the link in the chat, by the way, in case anybody wants to save it for later.
Yeah, she completed her CS degree, but she just didn't feel like she was really engaged with anything to do with code. She didn't know what to do next, basically. And as she says here, she had a lack of passion for it. So that made it very difficult to move forward. And then she stumbled across Scrimba, and she said it kind of changed everything for her. She felt like interactivity really helped her to engage with the content and with the teachers, as she's mentioned her faves here, Kevin and Bob. And that really helped her to take the next step. And also, this is interesting, she joined Scrimba's Discord community. That's how I originally got to know her, actually. And learning from and helping out other developers really helped her, she says. And now she's recently landed a full-time job. So that's great news. Congrats to Robita.
That's awesome. Very good. She mentioned Kevin and Bob. I'm sure, Dylan, she just forgot. I'm sure you're on her mind. Just you're the next person she's going to write about, but she ran out of characters on Twitter. I'm sure of it.
Totally. Yeah. So that's our pieces of Scrimba news, and we're ready to announce a winner.
All right. I think it's that time.
What we should do is give people a last 30 seconds to cast the deciding vote.
No, Leanne, quickly, look at this. It's neck and neck. Like, I can't believe it, actually.
Is it really?
It's 21 votes to 20. Now it's 22 to 20. So I'm not sure how that worked. Oh, yeah, sorry, 21 then to 22. I thought someone lost the vote, but that's just my eyes playing tricks on me.
Okay, we're going to give people the last few seconds to vote.
All right, so I want everybody in the chat who's watching, the link is pinned to the top of the YouTube chat. If you're watching on your TV, grab your phone. If you're on your desktop, open a new tab. If you're watching on the YouTube app, you can open a link in the default browser and come back real quick. We won't pick the winner for another minute or so you've got time. Go and give this a quick vote, and let's see how many votes we can get. And likewise, we'll see who wins the up to $50 worth of Scrimba swag from the newly announced Scrimba store, where we're basically offering swag at cost if you want to support the community and represent, but obviously we don't profit. And also a semester, which is 6 months of Scrimba membership. As Leanne mentioned, that's enough time to do the front-end career path twice if you were so inclined.
Not that you would need to.
Not that you'd need to, of course. You can do, well, I'll tell you what, you can do the front-end career path, then you can do Dylan's testing course, and then you can maybe do some of Cassidy's React component courses or something afterwards too. Or I suppose that's part of the front-end career path, but you see my point.
Yeah, because the subscription gives you access to all the courses. So that's the boot camps as well. So you've got UI design boot camp, JavaScript boot camp. I mean, this is hours and hours and hours of content. So yeah, big up the subscription. So just to recap, our finalists are Palak. And then we've got Raj. And then we've got Fadi with ScrimFX. And then we've got Maud.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, Costumes, all singing, all dancing, currency converter.
Don't be biased now, Leanne. I mean, it's so close.
No, that's true. They are all singing, all dancing. So
that's
yeah,
right.
Fabulous. Okay,
right.
When are we going to call it then, Alex?
I don't know what to do because the votes are still trickling in, and it's.
Oh, are they?
I think what we have to do, and Leanne, if you go to Google and you type 15-second timer, we'll just let Google like decide for us. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
So 15 seconds, maybe 20 by the time like the timer starts. This is your last chance to go and vote on your favorite solution. It's pretty close.
Okay, I'm gonna start it.
The suspense.
I know.
Oh, I see Fatty just got a surge of votes. That's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, 3.
I haven't voted. Oh, 2, 1.
Lift off.
Here we go. Who's the winner? Let's just take a snapshot right now of the straw poll.
All right. See, that one's frozen. I need to refresh.
Okay, so 20 seconds, 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what do you reckon?
That actually is a narrow margin. Look at that.
Yeah, totally.
So
But it looks like
nearly took it. Yeah.
Cashtub is the winner of this week's Weekly Web Dev Challenge. You know, there's a lot to gain aside from prizes from the Weekly Web Dev Challenge. Really, the prizes are just fun. It's not the most scientific competition ever, and the prizes aren't like huge in this case. Really, what you should take from the Weekly Web Dev Challenge is an opportunity to code independently, take a starting point and build upon it, escape tutorial hell, draw on what you've been learning to apply it to a project every week. And if you're struggling for ideas, you know, we've got you with these challenges. They're a place for you to start and branch off of. In this case, though, Kashtub, congratulations. You need to, Leanne, what should Kashtub do to make sure he gets his or her or their prize?
He can email help@scrimba.com, or I think he knows me on Discord. So just drop me a message, either or.
Nice. Congratulations, Kashtub. And would everybody join us in congratulating Kashtub in the chat, please? With some clap emojis, with some congratses. I think I saw Kashtub in the chat earlier. I hope he's still around. And again, if you didn't win this week, there will be an opportunity next week. The Weekly Web Dev Challenge is, of course, weekly. So every week there's an opportunity to win.
Yeah, that's right. Another thing we've been toying with is the idea of making the challenges a bit more open. So instead of, for example, giving the skeleton or just the HTML, we just say, we want you to make a, I don't know, cat photo app. Off you go with no code whatsoever. So let us know what you think of that. If you prefer to have a bit of a start, I suppose, or if you think just being told, here's your inspiration, see what you can build would be better.
Totally. I think we're drawing to an end now, and it might take someone a minute or two to articulate their thoughts and think about it. Where would be the best place in Discord to send a message about the Weekly Web Dev Challenge, Leanne?
They can send it to me. So I'm Leanne at Scrimba.
Nice.
Yeah, on there. That would be good. Or just anywhere on Discord if you tag me. If you don't want a DM, then just, tell us your thoughts.
Sounds good. So yeah, that's more or less it for this week's live stream, but we will be back next Wednesday, right, Leanne? Same time, same place.
Same time, same place. That's right. Looking at the submissions for this week's and the public learnings as well, and giving away more swag. So yeah, but we've got to go now because the inauguration is starting in 10 minutes, I think. And we wouldn't want to take traffic away from that.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that actually. It did occur to me that we might clash or something, and obviously a lot of people are going to watch like a historical moment in politics, or you and me talk about Scrimba. I was like,
historical moment in Scrimba.
Obviously they're going to watch us talk about Scrimba, so I wasn't too worried in the end. But otherwise, yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone. See you later.
Hopefully we'll see you next week, and look out for the email in your inbox about the next Weekly Web Dev challenge.
Landing in 10 minutes.
T-minus 10 minutes. Damn. Okay.
Indeed.
I'm that blooper too. Looking forward to hearing from you, Kashtub, and